Let's go to Dr. Rob Lindstedt out of Wichita. He's been to Israel over 70 times. You know what I need to do real quick? I do need to tell you folks how we're brought here, okay? Because it is so expensive to do this television. Thousands of dollars in bandwidth, streaming bill, and everything. So there's a few ways, so indulge me, okay? I mean, here it is, 8:22 Central. We've been at it almost an hour. We haven't stopped to promote anything. But I got to promote some things that maybe you can use, can help you, and also help keep funding us to keep paying the bills. Here's one of them right here, WVWTVstore.com. WVWTVstore.com. We have emergency supplies, emergency food. By the way, we have half off all of our shipping, half off all the shipping on our emergency supplies of food, only the food, but the freeze-dried food, half off the shipping. 3 month, 6 month, a year, 2 year, gluten-free, meat, vegetable and fruit. It's all there at WVWTVstore.com. All right. Also, emergency supplies. Click that, and you'll find we have gas masks, we have stainless steel pots, we have the potassium iodine to protect your thyroid, 100-hour candles, EMT bags, water filters, the solo stove so you can build a little fire. We have the pots that go with them so you can boil the water to make the freeze-dried food, the ready-hour blood clot, all of it. You can also go to this website right here. This is numi.com/house1. This is a product that contains what's called glutathione. Just put it into a search engine. What are the benefits of glutathione? And read those articles and tell me this doesn't interest you. I swish with this twice a day. I take 2 capfuls, swish with it twice a day for about 4 minutes. Then you can spit it out or swallow it, whatever you want. The reason you do that is so it gets into your system without your stomach acids breaking it down. Now, you can do an IV of glutathione, but it's going to cost you about $250, and it also is broken down. This is apparently, according to the studies, one of the best ways that you can get this into your system within 90 seconds and in its total form. So again, all the research is there at numi.com/house1, HOWSE is house, and then the numeral 1. Again, don't take my word for it. There are about 162,000 studies on PubMed about glutathione. That is a powerful molecule. It detoxifies our cells. Some studies show it may help slow down or prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. It can remove mercury from the brain. I'm not making claims. I'm just telling you what some of the research showing about that molecule, glutathione, and that's what's in the product, Numi. So you can check it out there. I think it's a great way to support yourself and our work at the same time, your health and our work. Here's another way, Bella Grace. I take this every day. I take this twice a day. All you got to do is take the cap. It's not uncommon. I take it sometimes here at the desk, as some of you know. You just rip the top off, squeeze it like a tube of toothpaste, and it's got kind of a cherry taste to it. It's actually, I like it. It's got collagen in it, which is great for your hair growth. I've gotten quite a bit of that. They had to use the thinning shears last time I got my hair cut. Haven't had that happen in a few years. It's good for your skin, your eyes, your ligaments, your tendons. So it's got the collagen. Then it's got what is called cat's claw. That's an anti-inflammatory from a bark on a vine in Peru, and then it has astaxanthin that crosses the brain-blood barrier. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. There are science and clinical trial docs right there. Click them. About 80 clinical trial docs pop up. So it's not a joke, folks. You don't get 80 clinical trials because it's a joke. Click the Order Now button. If you get a subscription, you'll automatically save. It's a 30-day supply. Get the subscription and save. That's what Melissa and I do, and we take it every day. And again, you can just go do your own due diligence on the ingredients in this product, and we really believe in it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be offering it. So we do that. Bella Grace at Melissa House BG, we use her name to track it because she brought it to us, the research behind it. And that way, again, you're supporting us and your health, I believe, at the same time. So those are 2 great products. All right. All right. Well, Rob talks. I'm going to finish my Bella Grace, but let's bring him in. Rob, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure to be with you tonight.
Rob, I want to talk to you about many things going on, but one of them is the college students. I have to tell you, I guess maybe because I am a father and I have kids that are in their 20s, and you're a father, and I'm sure you're also at this point a grandfather, and of course you're a high school administrator, so you have a lot of young people and people that are seniors in high school that are 18, so a couple of years they'll be in their 20s. And so, I look at these young people differently now that I'm 55 years old tomorrow than I did when I was 25 or 30. because I realize now, having raised kids and having kids this age, how easily they are manipulated, how easily they are deceived. The Bible says over and over, do not be deceived, do not be deceived, do not be deceived. And so I have some compassion on these young people. Even though I find it silly and frustrating at times, I have compassion because in many regards, they're victims. The thing about deception is people don't often know they're being deceived. And these young people have been taken for a ride by the media, some of them by their parents, by their schools, high schools, their colleges, the movies, the news media, and they're deceived. Before I play a couple clips, would you speak to this, please?
Sure. I really feel that higher education is no longer higher education. There was a time when you went to college to learn a trade or to develop thinking skills or maybe to study subjects that you weren't able to comprehend in high school. But that's not the case. It's almost like an indoctrination center. And the people that are teaching, often their qualifications aren't so much academic as they are indoctrination. I think the key to this is the fact that where is learning going on? They stripped away the entrance exams. So it's not the bright kids going to these prestigious schools. Now we have the numbers at Qatar sponsored $5 billion in gifts to these schools.
Well, I want you to back up and tell our audience again, Qatar, which is aligned up with terrorist groups, has done what?
Well, they given $5 billion in gifts, not in scholarships, not in research, in gifts. And the reason that's so heartbreaking is because that's where Hamas lives. That the leaders of Hamas live there as millionaires. And so here they are giving donations, and as a result of those donations, they have a free pass. So the protest, and as we watch the clips, notice how uninformed the people are. It's not that they have a cause. They have an excitement. You hear one girl say, well, we saw a lot of cops, and we heard that there was something going on at Columbia, and now it's going to be here, and we didn't want to miss out. She doesn't even know the cause. Others won't know the name of a river. One poor lady, she thinks it's got to do with a mountain. I mean, this is sad. Is this really the best we have? Is this really a university education? Let me tell you this. I hope parents look at this and say, I'm not going to send my child there. I'm not going to spend $55,000 to $95,000 a year doing this. Let them learn a trade. Let them learn, go to school somewhere. Maybe even to the Christian colleges that they're trying to shut down, because some of the Christian colleges are doing a wonderful job. But these places are not.
Yeah, indeed they're not. Let's see, I've got a couple of videos here. Let me find the one I want to play first, because there's so many. We're not going to have time to play all of them. But this one, I think, may have been put out by Rudy Giuliani. He says, video, a real interview we had at NYU. So I'm wondering if Rudy sent one of his team members out there. Listen to this young lady.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here at
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
Oh.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
And so at least I appreciate her honesty. She didn't get snarky with the guy. She said, look, I guess I should be better educated. I really don't know. Do you know? We heard, as you said, she said there's some cops. We were at Columbia. We were told to come down here, so we came down here. Again, I have a little compassion. I have some compassion for these college students who are being so victimized in the sense that they're being brainwashed, they're being misled, they're being lied to. They're still young people. They still need to learn and grow up. And again, I don't know where the mom and dads are in this day and age. It's probably broken families. So you can relate to this as a school administrator. You see it every day, do you not? As you're trying to teach these kids, just because you're at a Christian school doesn't mean you're not dealing with kids that don't come from broken families and struggling backgrounds, and have some compassion on some of them that are maybe going a little wayward. And I bet you have some of your high school students that once they leave say, if it wasn't for this school, I would be just like these kids out on these college campuses. It wasn't for you, Dr. Lindstedt, teaching me and training me and taking me to Israel and all the places and the experiences and education you've given me, I'd be just like the average young person today. I'd be easy cannon fodder for their revolution.
Well, I think it's important for us to teach our kids to think. And you were talking about reading. And isn't it amazing that really reading, writing, arithmetic, those three basic things are now being neglected. We have high schools where you can get a diploma and you don't need to take any math. You don't have to be able to even read. This is ridiculous. So I really hope that parents and students say, wow, I don't want to be part of this group. Another clip, I hope you can find it. It's an older lady.
Oh yeah, I've got it. Here it is.
Okay,
Here we go.
Listen to her testimony. It's just unbelievable that people live in this day and time. This critical situation in the world is going on. Why do people hate the Jews? And the Bible talks about in the end day. But listen to this poor lady's reasoning.
Okay, here we go.
Funny, you don't look Palestinian.
From the nation to the sea, Palestine will be free.
From the nation to the sea.
No, from the mountains to the sea.
From the mountains to the sea.
That's what we want.
From the mountains to the sea?
Yeah.
Which mountains? You don't know, eh?
I hate to say it, but with this kind of lack of intelligence coming from adults, I'm telling you, Dr. Rob, I really, really believe that they could round up the majority of us Christians in America, and a lot of the country, a huge percentage of the country would believe whatever the government said. Well, they were extremists, they were domestic terrorists, they were dangerous, they were planning this, they were plotting that, they were on the verge of doing this. So we had to round them up for by safety. And I would guess a whole range of adults just like her would say, okay, and this is how the Holocaust happened, right? Is this not how it happened in Germany?
Absolutely. The pattern is so striking that it really is scary. And I watch how they're changing history. The things that we learned in history, they're saying, well, they're not true. That's not true. No, the thing that's not true is that the Palestinians are being run out of their country. The thing that's not true is that Israel didn't exist in that country for hundreds of years. Those are the things that aren't true. But instead of having a university open up a lecture and have both sides present their case, let students listen to an intelligent presentation and make a decision. No, they go out and they run around and they say death to America, death to Israel. They're beating up Jewish students. Why are they beating up Jewish students? Let me say this, that if it was anti anything else, they would be stopped. You couldn't say this about Asians. You couldn't say it about blacks. You couldn't say it about homosexuals. You couldn't say it about transgenders. But for some reason, it's okay to say, eliminate the Jews. And I look at what the Bible says in Revelation chapter 12, right in the middle of the tribulation. And the story is a woman that bears a child. And she has 12 stars. I think it's Israel. And then the Bible talks about how that there's a serpent, a dragon, and he names it as Satan. And he's kicked out of heaven, and he takes a third of the stars with him. And from the time the woman was going to deliver the child, Satan sought to destroy the child, to destroy Jesus. And when that couldn't happen, then the next thing he does, it says that there's a war in heaven. And the war in heaven is Michael versus Satan. And that takes place in the midpoint of the tribulation. And after that, it says in verses 12 and 13 that the primary mission of Satan in the tribulation is to destroy the Jew. We're watching the preliminaries of this because the Bible said they're going to be hated for no reason. There's, you can't go and say, okay, they're hated because they were mean during October 7th. You can't say they're hated because they're not giving humanitarian aid. They are. They've cooperated in so many ways. They even had 350 missiles, rockets, and drones shot at them, and they fired 3 back. So how does the world make this case? It's because they hate the God of the Jews, not just the Jews, but the God of the Jews. That's the revolution that we're seeing, because we've left godly principles, we've left the Word of God, and as a result, we're into this chaos. This world is rocking and reeling because man loves chaos, because chaos allows him to take advantage of situations and not be accountable. These kids are not accountable to go to class. Wow, how are they going to get a grade? How are they going to learn? I just hope my physical therapist, my medical doctor doesn't come from one of these schools now, because they're not going to finish the last half of the year.
Well, you do know what you call a medical doctor that graduates at the bottom of his class, right?
No.
Doctor.
Yeah.
So there you go. For the lady that had trouble figuring this out, here we have a little diagram for her. So if she wants to understand from the river to the sea, there you go.
Well, in another clip, and we probably don't have time for it.
Oh
tonight,
yeah, we do. Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, play that one. That one is a classic.
This is you set it up while I find it real quick here. I know I've got it.
Okay. Well, at both Columbia University, these are supposed to be our brightest kids at New York University. It's supposed to be a prestigious university. The protests have spread one to another. Now we're at USC. We're in Texas, and I'm thankful that Texas put the rule down and said, hey, go back to class. And I hope donors pull away millions of dollars from these universities, because, first of all, they should be in class. Secondly, if these people are this dumb, why are we supporting these kind of institutions?
Indeed, here it is.
What does from the river to the sea mean?
It means that Palestine should be autonomous.
What river?
Okay. The expression is not anything bad.
No, there's an actual river and an actual sea.
Yeah, I'm aware of this geography.
No, but what river, what sea?
The river that literally is beside Israel and the Palestinian territories.
What? It's the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea.
Again, let's go back to the diagram here. Maybe any of them watching tonight can take a screenshot so we can help them out here. There we go. These poor people. Go ahead, Doctor. This is Romans 1, right? Vain, useless, and futile. And this is, sadly, this is a massive chunk of the country now.
Well, what you see is that there's excitement about this. It's a way to extend spring break. It's a way not to write papers. It's a way to get out of doing what you should do if you want to be educated. I think sometimes people go to college to get a diploma, and they can probably still get one at these universities. I've lost a lot of faith and respect for them. But you see, to get an education is more than just getting a diploma. And there was a day when people went to college to be instructed, to learn how to think, to be able to embrace new ideas and new technologies. And are these kids learning that?
Yeah, they're not.
They stand in front of a policeman. They're yelling pigs and insults and banging on their cars, and they make it so they're taking it out on the policeman. All the policeman's doing is really enforcing the law. They're on private.
And again,
property.
these are also private. These are private schools. Okay, they're maybe public funded, but they still have the right of private property. That just because they're a university that's funded with public dollars doesn't mean they don't have the right to say who can and cannot be on that property at that time. The same thing is true with any government building or private building. There's rules. I mean, the building is now closed. You have to get up and leave the library. The city hall is now closed. You have to get up and leave the city hall so we can lock it up for the evening. I mean, there are rules related to the property. And many of these schools have a right to say, we're not going to have this bedlam. We're not going to have this going on, threatening our other students who have paid a lot of money to be here. And even if it's a free school, they have the right to walk on campus without being physically assaulted and having their life threatened. Someone put out another great video. Maybe one way to dispel some of the lies about Israel and the Israelis is to actually meet one. I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but watch and listen to this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Noah.
So, where are you from?
Yes.
I go Colombia.
No.
Spain.
Are you Czech?
I'm actually from Israel.
I'm gonna stop this video now. Oh! Israel. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm uneducated. The main thing that I get from news is about the women and children in Palestine. It makes Israelis seem to be bad people.
From the outside, it sometimes looks a little bit like you've got this big bully, the bully being Israel, the underdog being Palestine. They're living in very, very harsh conditions right now.
Hamas has been the ruling authority in Gaza. They haven't been taking care of their own civilians.
Yeah.
I was combat medic. I spent 5 months near Gaza and I saved Palestinians' lives. I treated everyone. There's literally terror tunnels underneath Gaza. Imagine you have the subway.
Yeah.
But instead of subway, like underneath the ground, you have just like terror bases. And that's Gaza.
I didn't know that, by the way.
I didn't know that. How are you and your family?
We knew a lot of people who were murdered on October 7th. You just look at life differently.
I'm glad your family's okay.
I'm really sorry to hear about what happened to your friends. I really wish the whole conflict would end.
Just want peace, actually. It's like our main goal. We don't want war. We never asked for war.
That's scary. I'm glad that you help people.
You're a hero. It was nice meeting you.
You too.
Stay safe, guys.
Dr. Lindstedt, your thoughts before we go to Aaron, who's going to join the conversation?
Yeah. Well, it would be good if people would meet someone who's Israeli, because let me tell you that they want peace. And there's even times when I think they almost go too far. I look at how, for the good of the United States and for the good of the world, I really wish that they would finish the job with Hamas, because Hamas are terrorists. And you know what? With Hamas getting a foothold on the campuses, with terrorists coming across the southern border, I think we may have a very difficult summer, because I think the terrorists now realize that America is an open target. And so we should be very thankful for Israel. Not only have they developed technology, not only have they developed good medicines and cell phones and many electronic improvements, but in terms of overall security of the world, their intelligence is fantastic.
Oh, General Flynn has
so we
told
should
me.
be thanking them.
General Flynn has told me when I asked him live on the air, how many times has Israel helped to avert terrorist attacks on America, American installations, or American soldiers? He chuckled and said, oh, pretty much almost daily. Yeah, so he knows firsthand.